Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and if you saw the title for the video, yeah, things are a bit messed up right now. So what's going on? Well, 2XKO, the Riot fighting game based off League of Legends property, is kind of closing its doors. With a heavy heart, the 2XKO team shares an update about the future. Active development will end in December, the final content patch will go live in October, servers will stay online, and in-game purchases made before August 20th will be refunded. So 2XKO, which is technically, as per the real launch, not even a year old, is shutting down. So naturally there's a lot to talk about here. First, I want to give you the news, like all the details as is pertinent, and then I want to give you some of my thoughts on the matter after the fact. But let's talk about what we know. So 1, 2XKO is ending active development, but it's not going away. You can still play the game long into hopefully the foreseeable future. So you can still play the game. And that is excerpted from a longer post. I will link that for you in the video description if you want to check it out for yourself. They're going to unlock all the characters, and if you spent any money on the game on or before August 20th, you will be refunded. That will take some time to get done, but yes. So you don't got to worry that you're out money for trying to play 2XKO. Riot does have your back on that. And why is this happening to begin with? Why is Riot ceasing development on the game? You know, definitely been some rough and tumble with a very shaky launch. When was the actual launch? Obviously the debacle with, letting go a sizable chunk of the development team some months ago. We'll talk about this more later in the video, but by Riot's internal, arithmetic, the numbers were not adding up. This is a billion-dollar company, and, if you don't perform, you gotta go. This part, I'm just going to read it as it's written. Why end active development? We evaluated the game's overall performance, not just revenue, but retention, new players, engagement through 2026. We saw positive player reactions through the releases of Akali, Senna, Thresh, The Climb, PvE, and some amazing competitive events throughout the year. Even in these highlight moments, however, we saw no meaningful sustained change in 2XKO's trajectory, only a fraction of what it would take to trend towards sustainability. Over time became clear it would be impossible for us to continue actively developing the game as we are today. In recent months, the team has continued to take bold swings while fully aware of 2XKO's challenges, but to attempt another year hoping for a way forward would have been an irresponsible choice for the players and the dev team. To be super clear, we would have continued active development if we saw any viable future, but 2XKO costs us substantially more to operate than it brings in, and engagement has stayed relatively flat despite our larger updates. So when we looked at all the options available, reducing team size, adjusting pass schedules, changing business model, we concluded that finishing the rest of our work in progress content and sunsetting active development was the best route forward for the players and rioters. So again, the math wasn't just mathing out. And when you're a billion-dollar business, if you're not making the financial gains you're looking to make, then at some point I guess you got to cut the cord. Again, though, the servers are not turning off. There is more content to come. Next month, we will have a patch that will release Lux and also a bundle where you can basically buy everything in one go. Yes, you will be refunded, but if you just kind of want to buy all the cosmetics, it's all there in the bundle. And in October, Samira, I suppose the final character of 2XKO, will also release. And more details about sunsetting the game will reveal at that time. So there is a little bit more gas in the tank. There's still more content updates to come, but that's kind of the end of the line. We've seen this before. If you are an NRS fan, this is like usual to you. The announcement that, yeah, we're done, we're walking away. And let me tell you, it sucks every time. But I guess this has more in common with, say, Multiversus. Another live service game that tried to make it work, versus the traditional fighting game release model and just couldn't. And, I've always personally believed that the live service model could work out great for fighting games, as a lot of fighting games are effectively like live service model anyways. Like, how Street Fighter does it, right? Seasons, all that. Like, it's all but in name, but just like full on, because Lord knows it works for Brawlhalla and worked for years to amazing numbers. But yeah, for Multiversus, for 2XKO, just doesn't seem to work. Of course, there's a lot of factors in play here, though. To say 2XKO had troubled development cycle is putting it lightly. So 2XKO, back when it was Project L still, was announced I think October 2019. That's a good number of years ago, right? And it was certainly being worked on a lot before then. Without getting too inside baseball, my understanding is the game was multiple different genres of fighting games before they kind of landed on the 2-on-2 format. So the game spent way too long in development. Obviously, there's the whole debacle with actually naming it 2XKO, where people did not love the name. And I feel like there's always been, this is just my putting this in there, I don't know for sure, but like design philosophy issues, because like something I was told way early on, right? It was like, yeah, we're going to shorten the combo length. This is way before the game ever came out, right? And I was told that, and I was told that, and I was told that, and look at our last character, Thresh. Thresh has like some of the longest combos you'll ever see in the game. So even well before launch, where the design philosophy was like more neutral, less long combos, and it's clear they never really got there. That and like some of the internal balance design, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, look at Yasuo and Echo, right? It took a lot of patches, a lot of nerfs to just make them not the two characters that ran the game. Like, I don't know how it comes as any surprise that characters with only upsides, no weaknesses ran the game, but apparently it did. Basically, on a lot of levels, at least from my perspective, definitely like an issue of vision or cohesion. Maybe too many cooks in the kitchen, I don't know. But just even the fact that it took so long to get out there after the initial announcement, you know, people were very hyped, people were very excited. And, you know, the years go by, and, you know, yeah, you still get some players at launch, sure, but like some people just kind of burnt out. You should really only announce a game when you're somewhat ready to put something out there. Trust me, I feel that more than most, okay? Like, to be super, super clear, the love is very much there. Like, that's super clear to anyone who even just saw the Teemo trailer, let alone anything else, right? Like, they had a very dedicated team that loved fighting games. But again, for like design philosophy, balance, all that, like, again, too many cooks in the kitchen. I'm not sure some of the issues, but the love was there. But of course, the team too, right? After Frosty Faustings, right? Like, they did that. They let go like half the team. That's not going to engender positivity towards the brand, right? Like, that tournament actually went great for 2XKO. It was the first major moment post-launch, official launch anyways, and tons of great moments, tons of great hype, tons of great positivity, which was completely just shot by the fact they let go half the team. And a lot of people that were somewhat interested in the game said, nope, never again. I'm not going to do this game at all because Riot doesn't have faith in it. And here we are. And if you were kind of negative at that moment, you were right to be negative. Like, it sucks. I don't want to say it, but yeah, you were right to not invest in the game at that point if you saw that, because it didn't breed a lot of positivity. Like, for me, a lot of people I personally knew on the team were let go. I wasn't feeling great myself. And as for like the issues, I don't know, maybe there'll be a big tell-all one day, I don't know. But like, obviously between that and this, things weren't working out. They said here, you know, the math wasn't mathing out. The numbers weren't there. The revenue wasn't there. And I think for the amount they spend, the amount of people they put in, because even after they let go half the team, their active development team was still bigger than just about every other fighting game. Like, for example, their half the team after the layoffs was still bigger than the entire Street Fighter V development team. But maybe Riot as a company is not used to working on a smaller scale, because to be real, everything short of Mortal Kombat, fighting games are a smaller scale genre. They will not pull in the millions and millions and millions of players that like a League of Legends, Valorant, you know, Teamfight Tactics. They won't pull in those numbers. They'll pull in respectable numbers, especially for the larger games like your Street Fighters and your Tekkens, but they're not going to ever pull those numbers. And I begin to wonder if Riot thought they would pull in those numbers just based off the strength of the League brand and all the surrounding positivity around the Arcane series launch. And if that's the case, someone high up the ladder was taking crazy pills, because it was never gonna be that. Lots of fighting games can be very successful, right? They make lots of money. Even smaller games, like say Avatar recently, my understanding is they're very happy with the numbers they're pulling in. Very, very happy. But they're not the Titanic scale that Riot normally works at. And, you know, if you just put in a bunch of money and expect those numbers, it was never gonna happen in a fighting game. Fighting games are doing the best they've ever done since the 90s right now, yes. but it's still not the 90s. So maybe a case of mismanaged expectations is why we kind of went down the road we did. Obviously, the development hell, like God knows how many years and years and years in development, not sure what they really want the game to be. And when they finally coalesce around that, then like the marketing was not great because nobody liked the name of 2XKO. It was routinely made fun of, just straight up. They wanted to design a game for, you know, the beginner in mind, and yet they put out one of the most complex games ever made in terms of gameplay, which is perfectly fine. You know, if you like the game enough, you'll learn it. Games like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 are great proof of that. But also just in pure like numbers, like the buttons. Like the fact that they removed special inputs means they had to put more buttons in the game. And to me, that can scare new players off. Is a quarter circle forward really more complex than more buttons on the controller? Well, I guess this is a case and argument for motion controls, because we sort of wound our way back there in the end anyways. I don't know if any other games are going to be doing Special 1 and Special 2 in the future. But yeah, despite this negativity I'm kind of putting out there, 2XKO was a cool damn game. Like, it was really fun. For myself, I was a long fan of the League of Legends IP. I put a lot of years into League, and I always wanted to see a League of Legends fighting game. And when I finally got it, I thought it was pretty damn cool. Maybe rough around the edges, but you know, the whole experience, the whole fantasy playing the various characters, like Teemo and Braun especially, turned out fantastic. Alawi, oh my god, Alawi turned out amazing. But we did it. It didn't go, I guess, and here we are. So there's a lot more in the official statement I didn't mention in the video. If you want to check that out for yourself, please check out the link in the video description. But yeah, I guess, you know, something like this was sort of bound to happen. Not necessarily with 2XKO, but we are in, you know, the new renaissance of fighting games, and we got tons of fighting games coming left, right, front, and center. And I guess all of them can't succeed. Certainly, you know, the ones at top, your Street Fighter, your Tekken, even Tekken 8 with all of its current issues, is still doing okay, right? So the big names will always be the big names, but for everyone else, you gotta fight over the same portion of the pie. The pie might be getting a lot bigger, but you still gotta fight over the scraps, right? And depending who you are and what company you are, maybe that piece of the pie ain't big enough for you and it's time to check out. But that is the news as it stands. I know, you got something to say on the matter, so please post it in the comments below. And otherwise, well, that's it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some 2XKO for as long as it's still up.